what's your hair type? When I wake up in the morning, my bed hair says 4A. Like, what's your hair type? Tryna go out tonight. I think I need my bonnet. It's always a kinky conversation. A kinky conversation. But I got that magic.
Welcome back, Kinky family. Before we really get started into this episode, I have a question for all of y'all. So ladies, when you think of a natural woman, give me a word that describes her.
I would say free.
Daring and creative.
Effortless.
I'd say bold and confident.
Bold and confident. So these are all great words. Why don't we ever get sexy?
I was gonna say fun, but I wouldn't have said sexy initially.
Yeah, right.
Why not? When you think of a natural woman, I mean, there's so many words. We say empowered, we say spiritually connected, we say all of these words, but when it comes to a natural woman, don't we all want to be sexy too?
Absolutely.
Yeah, maybe it's because, I don't know, I said bold, right? And I think the first thing that comes to mind is us getting over the hurdles of being natural. And so I don't even think about like the natural way of living, right? The normal way of living for everyone. I'm always thinking about what do we have to overcome, right? So I'm like bold, confidence, and I think about the struggle.
Right.
So that's what came to
I think
mind.
sexy would have came eventually.
Eventually.
If you asked a couple of words, but no, it's not the first word.
Right. But
Yeah, so that's interesting that you pointed that out.
But what's a hairstyle? I mean, because for me, natural, when you say natural, I'm thinking about a hairstyle. That wouldn't be my first word to describe what if I'm thinking about a hairstyle. I don't think.
But when I think of long weave, or if I think of long weave, I think of video girl, I think sexy. You think of six, you know what I'm saying? When you think of Kardashian, you think of sexy.
Oh.
Which
You have to get DM. It was not my fault.
But if you might have said someone who has natural hair who we think of as sexy, then it might have been that might have been the response. Yeah. But just thinking of natural.
General.
Yeah.
So who's a natural girl that you think of that comes to mind as sexy?
Hear this.
Amara Negro. I think she's sexy.
I think she's sexy. That's a good one.
She's sexy. Yeah.
But I don't think that's her hair.
You made me realize you gotta think.
Think. Because if I say straight hair, it'll be a boom. We just rolls off the tongue, right? Yeah. So how do we change the narrative? Before we get started with this conversation, because it's going to be a deep conversation, I want to welcome our guests. We have Jupitr, actress, singer, model. You know it all, lady, right?
I try.
All right, ain't nothing wrong with doing that. And then we have Tracy Nicole. She's an amazing designer, and it's Simple by Tracy.
Yes, and Tracy Nicole Clothing.
And Tracy Nicole Clothing. As an artist, because you sing, how has it been being a curly girl?
So it's funny that you ask, considering what we just talked about. I only went natural because my hair was falling out, because I was coloring it and putting heat to it. So it just started slowly breaking away. So I was like, okay, I'll just want to keep my color, and I'll just go natural. And that way, if I have to straighten it, I will. But it's so much, for me, because I'm not super high maintenance, it's easier for me to maintain curly. I didn't know that was going to make such a difference in the way people perceive me. So now when I walk into the room, it's like, oh, do you do neo-soul music? No, I'm not. I just happen to have curly hair. But it's like that happens, it's a thing. And it's funny, my conversation, when people started saying, oh, you remind me of this person or this person, it was like all these people that they pegged because they have natural hair to be these earthy, neo-soul kind of people. So then my question was, okay, so who's somebody that you think of with natural hair who you don't put in that category? And nobody can come up with anybody that you don't put in like a holistic, earthy, like free, like spirited kind of almost hippie kind of category. That everyone puts natural people there. So that's kind of what I've been bumping into. So everybody assumes that I want to go in that direction. And I'm like, no, I like pop music. I like rock music. And it's like, oh, well, the image thing. And it's interesting because it's like I didn't know that was going to come along with just having natural hair. Yeah, so it's different. And, if it's like wavy and long, it's a different thing. But when you have like a real curl pattern, it's like people just assume that you're like this person that doesn't wear deodorant or something. I don't know.
That's a real thing.
Unconscious and kinky.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. So I mean, it's been interesting just navigating in the industry. So,
what about you, Tracy?
Oh, she just made me think about my story because with my hair, my grandmother, who looked like an Indian, her hair was straight, and my sister's hair straight, and me, I had curly hair when I was younger, and it was kind of like Freddie from a different world, curly. Yeah, but every time I would go see my grandmother, she would go, "What's wrong with your hair? Why is it so curly?" And it messed me up. Wow. It did. And so she took me to the salon. She told me something was wrong with my hair every time I saw her. And so I thought something was wrong with my hair. And she got my hair straightened. And so it changed my curl pattern actually for the rest of my life because I never got those really tight curls back. So I never wore my hair natural until I got around people who wear their hair natural and had confidence about it. And it started to build my confidence, but I felt like something was wrong when I would wear it curly. I would think it's too big, but that was ingrained in me. Women have this tainted image of themselves, and women think they're bigger than they are. Women look at things on other people that they think looks better, so it won't look like it on me. And we're our hardest critics on ourselves and our bodies. And I deal with it every day. Sure. So what I learned is they need to see someone that looks like them in order to believe that they can, have that same beauty and that same outfit.
I was gonna say it has to be an interesting dynamic though, because you're already self-conscious about your body. And now you add another element when you're self-conscious about your hair. Because even for me, like typically if I wear my hair natural for anything that I would call an event or a TV, I'll put curls in it to make it look more polished. Because the natural pattern is frizzy, it doesn't look polished.
So I do have a question. I've seen some of your pieces, especially like the Simple by Tracy.
Yes.
How do you think natural hair and your particular design, being that it's simple, kind of merge together? Our hair can be wild, it has its own personality, right? And then you have an aesthetic with your design in itself. So how do you pair the two together so that it doesn't look off? Because it kind of goes to what you're saying. If you're on a red carpet, do you look polished? Do you look, how are you?
And if not, it turns into a look.
Exactly. Exactly.
So I'm glad you asked that because Simple by Tracy came about because of that. I wanted everything to be simple. I wanted it to be very neutral too. And the colors have meanings. So I'll go by steps. So I wanted things to be simple because as women, you see women put on a whole lot of makeup. You see women, wear a bunch of weave or these labels and all these high-end things. And then you see them fighting on TV. You see them, being catty towards each other. And I don't judge these women. I look at them and my heart goes out to them because I see women in pain and nobody's addressing it and nobody's dealing with it.
They're just making money off of it.
They're making money off of it, and it seems to be glorified, and people are impressed when people are painting an image that's not true. And it's not reality.
And that's what they're calling it, reality. So
they're calling it a reality show.
They're calling it reality, right.
People looking like they have things they don't have.
Yeah.
People looking like they've arrived at this place that you'll never get to because it doesn't exist. And when your clothes are simple, you need to be focused on what's inside. You need to be and that's Simple by Tracy was, I want you to focus on the inner more so than the outer.
Okay.
So it's simple and owning what you've been through. And for the first time in my life, I talked about things publicly that I've never talked about.
You just recently cut your hair. So
I arrived at the launch with all of my hair cut off, and that was a power move for me. And the response was amazing. It's like, oh my God, that's fierce. And you think about the words. I got the words. That was bold. Oh my gosh, I can't believe you did that. That takes courage. You make me want to cut my hair. So it goes all into inspiring and motivating and just being true to who I am.
That's kind of like the narrative for our generation and for our culture right now. It's like, what do you want to do? Do you want to chase this thing that everybody's trying to be, or do you want to be true to yourself? And I think that's where that idea right now about your earthy comes from, because that's not the standard. Like Aaliyah wasn't earthy, but she didn't have a beat face and red bottoms either. You know what I'm saying? So it's like what used to be regular now is earthy, and the standard is this made up character that's not even a real thing. You know what I mean?
It's like the extremes too.
Yeah.
Like, no deodorant, butt shots.
Right.
Like, what is it? Like, you know, like, it really is
But it idealizes all the things that is like stereotypical that everybody, that society says we should be. Like, we should have a straight long hair down to our ass. We should be walking around in heels 6 inches all the time. We should have a beat face. We should be looking perfect. And that's a lot of work. That's all I'm saying. It's like, right.
That's what society perceives as sexy.
Sorry, I don't want to look like I got a dump truck on my back.
And your legs don't match.
And they're going to break.
Wait, you don't want to look like you have a dump truck on your back.
Wait, but then the problem is...
go away. Because I don't understand it.
No, but then the problem is that becomes the standard. And for a lot of women that are getting dressed for men that now like the way that looks, there's a problem.
I haven't met one man that said, I like that.
Oh, well, I don't know where you've been.
I don't think that we even,
No,
I think
I
women
haven't.
do it for men. I think women do it for women. So that
Absolutely.
goes back to
They do it
what
for women.
They do it for women.
Absolutely.
So what
I don't
is
agree with
sexy?
that.
I think it's
I'm telling you.
We need
these
some
are-
men on this show
when they
because
dress,
every
most
man I
of-
talk to, they don't like the unnatural.
Women can say
no.
they do it for themselves, but if
They
you
do
were to
it
get
for
the
other
same
women.
attention without that, understand, the standard woman now gets the most attention because of these things.
Yeah.
So if you go out with your friends and everybody has butt shots and long weaves and red bottoms and you're like supernatural and cute and small and nobody looks twice at you, you're gonna be like, well, I'm still gonna dress like this for me. No, you're trying to. It's competitive. Every woman wants attention. I don't care what they're talking about, and it's
But
you
it
wanna
goes
be
back to
wanted.
her point. They're doing it for other women. It's women competing against each other. And sometimes that attention is not good attention.
But I think for us to say that we also don't want men's attention or attention from men is like, we want men to be attracted to us.
Yeah, it's not a comparison. It's not a comparison.
No, but I think we also gauge like, okay, what is it that he likes? And to that extent, you kind of want to align to what he likes. Otherwise, I mean, unless you're not attracted to men, then that's a whole nother conversation. But I like attention from men.
If you look on social media, a lot of the girls are like, "Yes, girl," and you see all
Okay,
the.
so what are they competing for, though?
Well, it's not, I'm just saying a lot of them are just competing for the attention. They want to be the top girl.
The attention from who?
Well, they want it from men, of course, ultimately, but they like to be at the top of the charts with women. If you notice, a lot of women want to walk in and you be like, "Oh, girl, that shoe is hot." You know what I'm saying? Or, "Oh, you did."
Right. When they go get those butt shots, they're not saying, okay, this man likes this. They're saying, I want my butt to look like hers.
Because she gets all the attention
That's
from
the
men.
point.
Yeah,
but that's the
from
point.
men.
You're missing the point. They're doing it comparing themselves to other women.
You're comparing yourself
so
to
sad.
what that other person you're comparing yourself to is getting, and you're getting the attention from men. So if that's what I have to do to get the attention.
Because I will say one thing, if you think about all the makeup and stuff that women buy and the beat faces, we know men don't like all that makeup. They do.
They do.
What?
No, they don't.
What men are y'all talking about?
They don't.
Yes, they
They
do.
don't. And this is something you have to open your mind to
It's
learn.
still not natural.
Yeah.
Like,
And
they'll
I'm
say,
telling
I
you,
love that
I don't know
natural look,
what men we're talking about. I'm
Yeah.
telling you, out there right
put
now,
on the table, 'cause
I've had men say
The men
to me,
that are not looking for one night stands, the men that are actually looking for a woman to
so
have
we're
something
talking about
serious with,
equality.
they
That's
don't
different,
like
though,
a
but
lot
that's
of.
not the average every. You
I'm
have
not
to think
talking about
about
entertainment.
physical, right? I mean,
Yeah.
so they
But
they
is that
looking
physically beautiful? Those
a
women
beat
with-
face. We all be here. Why do we beat our face?
But they're beating for TV.
I know, but I'm just saying, like,
I wish we had some men here because I have a lot of male friends and they don't understand these women. I have some really good, nice looking male friends. Girl, we're gonna have to go out because when I tell you they don't like ass shots, they don't like the unnatural, they don't like a lot of makeup.
So
they
here's the thing.
don't.
Here's the thing.
Yes.
If we're talking about in general, right? Most men, if we're going to use the word most, right? You must be talking about mature, grown men.
That's the only one I want to deal with.
Okay.
So why would I talk about?
But you get.
Who are we talking about then? We got to
I'm just
talk about the
saying,
rappers and the.
I'm just saying, men don't get to that point until they're grown. So what
Not
age?
true. We gotta get you out more.
I go out. I work in a bar. Like I've been working in bars. I've been bartending for years.
You're
So,
jaded.
no, I mean, I went to school out here, all of that, and to me, it's like, I understand exactly what you're saying.
What I'm saying is there's a certain standard of maintenance that I've had guys say to me, why your eyebrows aren't done? Since when do men look at eyebrows? Or why don't you wear any makeup? Like I've had men, not only that, I've gotten more compliments on my eyebrows from men in this city. I mean,
well, now wait a minute. Now wait a minute. Now are we talking about fakeness? Or are we talking about?
But see, this is not the world. Atlanta does not represent. I don't think.
But we have reality TV that represents the world right now.
No, but when you say
everywhere, I'm just saying,
that is
but that's
standard. I'm trying to tell you.
Let's not move away.
Don't forget, y'all. There's more smaller cities than there are big cities.
I get that, but what's on TV?
And I've had the luxury of
what's
living in
setting
about
the
5
standard?
different cities, so it's so much more in the world. And no, those are not most men. I'm sorry.
Okay.
They're not.
I mean, maybe not most.
They're not most.
That's subjective. Like, because you don't know most men and I don't know most men. So neither of us can really say that, but it's a good amount of men on this end. Because I deal with plenty of people in plenty of areas as well. So it exists. That is like, and I have family members that are great men that they still feel like there's a prize in this fake fantasy woman. It's almost like white women.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I think being around the entertainment and being around, they do. I think because it looks, they want their boys to be like, oh, she got a big, this or that, or she, has the long hair. But when it comes to, I see it when it comes to the club life, which I don't even go out like that anymore, but I see it in the club life. I see it on Instagram, but it's like everybody, again, going back to what we were saying before, as far as women trumping women, it's to get the money, it's to get the attention, it's to get the likes. It's not just men. It's people are doing things for likes. They're doing it for sponsorships. Right. They're doing it to be on the top of the game or money or whatever. Because most of the time, honestly,
what they deem the top of the game, or
whatever they
deem.
And it could be right here.
And it depends on what you're going for. Mm-hmm. Because I mean, you can have a conversation right now. Hoes are winning. And it's one of those conversations that will go on
but
forever.
What are they winning?
No, exactly. Yeah. And I was married in the entertainment industry. I have a lot of insight in it, and what people want and what people think people want is smoke and mirrors.
Mm-hmm. But I'm saying what people say out of their mouth and the way they act. It might not be, if you were to pull back all the layers and do all the work, it might not be a real thing. But from what's actually expressed on the surface to a regular everyday person, like we just watching other shows and we just watch Wale on Red Table Talk, and it's like, oh, I need a woman to just, it's like, it's this surface thing. It's like people are not doing the work to figure out what they really want. So I agree. I don't think it's a real thing, but it's a real thing.
I mean, it's a real thing in terms of what's being perceived, right? Because it's like social media, whether you want to argue whether or not it's real or it's not. I see tons of my male friends who I would be like, dang, you find me attractive, but all the women's pictures that you be liking that come across my Explore page, it's very interesting. Don't look anything like me. I know someone else who's like in production, and it's like, oh, you like a natural woman. Actually, one of our hosts, she, you like a natural woman, but all your women in your music videos are fake. So not to say that, but it's conflicting. I guess
I would say when it comes to videos and stuff, again, I think they're going after what they think is popular. That's the same thing back in the day when it was like you have to have this blonde hair, you have to have this long hair, big butt. They had a fantasy woman that they thought sold, right? Mm-hmm. But it's really men like an array of women. They like all kinds, they like all shapes, all colors, all hair lengths, everything. Mm-hmm. And I think we get caught up because we think that that's winning. Is our, you know what I'm saying?
So maybe we're kind of thinking about like, it's almost like when you say like the equivalent to mainstream. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like the mainstream idea of what's supposed to be happening and what people are looking at. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying that's across the board. There are plenty of men out there who have values and morals and want a real woman that's got, you know what I mean, a soul.
But you're like, we want to talk about them with men.
No, we don't want to talk about those men. No. I'm not saying I don't want to talk about them or that they don't exist. I'm saying on a day-to-day basis, this thing that exists, this celebrated thing.
That's Kardashians are celebrated. Yeah, they're the top of the chain. I mean, if we really want to get real, as much as we want to either accept it or not, they come to the table all the time in terms of like in these conversations, right?
And I don't think that's an argument, but I definitely don't think it's a reason to try to be them.
No.
Oh, no,
I
absolutely
definitely
not.
don't think it's a reason.
But some people
to try
feel
to
like they need to.
Yeah.
And I think that's what
Exactly.
we were talking about.
Yeah.
Some people feel as though
Exactly.
because they are placed on this pedestal, that if in fact I want to be placed on this pedestal, I have to look like them. I have to get butt shots. I gotta be fake. I have to have a beat face every single day.
It
I have
boils
to have all
down to
this
what
drama.
you believe. It boils down to what you believe.
Absolutely.
I see the ridicule that Kim Kardashian gets. We'll use her an example because you used them. I don't look at that as a pedestal because I don't see it as something that is impressive to me.
But I mean,
there are levels to it. But
in a world where everyone wants to be seen, it's like
because reality.
We talk about the Kardashians.
They want to be seen.
They want it's not about
about
men or
acceptance.
it's about acceptance. At the end of the day, it's about acceptance.
Because at the end of the day, once you get on that pedestal, you get the attention.
Yeah.
The
Oh my
Kardashians,
God,
everybody.
that's so
I mean, I'm not
sad.
agreeing with it. I'm just saying,
that's
looking
what
at
perception
women
is.
and how even
It goes back to the type of attention. It's kind of like,
No, I
okay,
agree
if you
with
walk
that.
through the mall,
I
if
don't
you
think
walk through the
anyone's
mall
arguing.
naked, no. If you walk through the mall naked, that naked person is gonna get all the attention. Some people might be laughing and pointing, oh my God, I can't believe it. But they're getting that attention. You understand what I'm saying?
Before we go on, let's get back to where we started because this can go on, I can see, for a long time. Y'all jump on the table, let's throw a drink. Let's get in the reality world. How do we make curly, kinky, coily sexy? How can that be the first word that comes up? We've talked about what people want and the levels of acceptance and success, women liking it, men liking it, Kardashians liking it. So how do we make one of the first words? Because honestly, with acceptance and being a woman, you want to feel sexy. So how do you make kinky, curly, coily sexy?
I'll tell you what I think. In contrast to what we were just saying, if we are in fact getting dressed and presenting ourselves for ourselves, then we do what actually makes us comfortable. And we're secure with who we really are, how our hair really looks. And if everybody does that, then that will be the narrative because that will be more common, opposed to everybody, in my opinion, doing what other people think looks good. You know what I mean? Because now you're altering yourself to fit into a box.
I totally agree with that. To me, it's going to take more people seeing it to change the narrative because the thing I heard most at the table is because that's what's happening. That's what we're seeing. That's what people. So it's going to take more, kind of like the example of Alicia Keys not wearing makeup. Say you get 5 more women to join that. So it has to be seen on a higher level so people can see that that's the cool thing to do.
And I think it's kind of a two-step thing.
People follow what they see the most.
That speaks to who you are, though.
Yeah.
Because for Alicia Keys to do that, nobody. You know how secure somebody has to be to do that. You think other women don't want to do it in the industry? They're scared.
They're scared, but you can't approach it like it's impossible.
And it's not impossible. I'm
it's
just
like-
explaining why it's not happening. It's scary to get in front of a camera, which you've been doing. The standard has been to be perfect. And all of a sudden say, I don't care what the standard is. That's just this. Or else I think a million other women would be on the bandwagon. Why aren't they?
No, I mean, it would take one step at a time. That's why I said it started with Alicia Keys. What if 5 other people do? Kind of like when T.I. pointed out Gucci and what they were doing and all these other fashion houses. It took him with that platform to point it out for people to start saying, hey, let me support more Black designers. But why did it take that? Why didn't we want to support Black designers before that?
Because T.I. is a standard of success. And if he says it, then it's okay.
Exactly.
And that's
so
what-
it's getting people.
But to me, that's
No matter what, it had an impact. And me being a Black designer, it actually had an impact on me. But it did make me question, why did it take that? And then what happens after the 3 months?
Exactly.
They do the Black campaign to get our dollars back. Are we going to run back to them?
We do.
They did a Black campaign.
I'll boycott forever. You got the right one, buddy.
I think more people should be like that, but we're just so quick to just support these brands and these people that don't care about us.
And it's because of what you've been taught and what you're seeing. And I'm totally agreeing with what you're saying. It's going to take someone who has a big platform and multiple someones who have a big platform to use it to change the image, to change the trajectory of where it's going.
Okay, here's what I think. It's equivalent to like who's responsible for your child's education, the teacher or the family. And so although I believe that entertainers should be role models and they should take responsibility, I don't think that's what's going to take to change the narrative. I think everybody has to do their own part in changing themselves and the people around them, because TI might affect people on a global scale, but how long does it last? Not as long as it's going to last for you affecting your kids. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So I'm just saying, I feel like the way to really make a change is for everybody to start being okay with themselves and spreading it like on a bottom level. Like that's how Obama got, grassroots kind of thing. I think it actually is a more effective and long-term change.
Most definitely. Wow. I knew this was going to be a heated discussion. It was real good. So y'all out there, this was an amazing conversation, and we're so happy that you guys joined us. This was awesome. We all had some, polar opposite thoughts, but that's what a conversation is for, right?
Yeah, it was a good
and
conversation.
You didn't see us throwing no glasses or throwing no wine.
No, anybody tip it over a little bit.
So out there, leave a comment. Let us know what you think about the conversation. Join the conversation.
Join it.
Join. Yes. Follow us at Kinky Conversations or at www.kinkyconvos.com. And as always, stay kinky. Yeah, ladies.
For more kinky conversations, log on now to www.kinkyconvos.com or on Instagram at Kinky Conversations. Interested in being on the show or showcasing your natural hair products? Use hashtag Kinky Conversations or hashtag Curlfriends. Kinky Conversation.